hello, hello. Welcome to
Hello?
your first night at
Hello?
the Big Drink.
Hello? Well, I imagine you're hearing this. Welcome to your first night at the Big Drink. The Amber Herds get a little quirky at night.
Murder is illegal.
Why can't I? It's so easy.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about anything and everything that comes out of the crapshoot. I'm your host, JD. This is my co-host,
I'm just gonna stab him a couple times. It's easy.
James. James, not a murderer. I call him James. Everyone else calls him Jimmy. It just works like that.
It's weird, but you just stab him a little.
A lot of things have happened this week, huh, James?
I stabbed a lot of people this week. The number
You
is
definitely
rising
don't want me to
rapidly.
testify at your criminal case.
You won't be able to.
Well, I guess first things first. Like the most important thing that happened this week, right, James?
Oh.
I had to go shopping for a washing machine for
Wow.
my other house.
That
Or I guess technically it's not my house, but
What?
yeah.
Your other house? Wait, hold on.
Yeah. So the washing machine broke over there.
Okay.
And yeah, and you know, my mother came to me this morning and was like, "Hey, hey JD, you want to go to the Big Drink?" And I'm like,
God
I
damn
don't
it, I was about to say it too. If you didn't, it was gonna be like your mother came in like, "Hey JD, I say you want to go to the Big Drink?"
Hey champ, you want to you got time to go to the Big Drink?
Hey,
Anyway,
sus,
And I was
Michael
like,
here.
And I was like, no.
What if we went to the Big Drink?
we don't need to go to the Big Drink to buy a washing machine because there's something called the internet, and you can buy stuff off the internet. And my mother's like,
JD, your parents are boomers, much like mine.
my mother's like, what? No way. We're just gonna go and look at the
What?
washing machine prices. And I'm like, okay. So we go there, and then we go to Costco, right? And then we go to the section where they're selling the home appliances, right? And we speak to the guy there, and I was like, hey, we want to buy a washing machine, I guess.
The guy's like, "Welcome to the Big Drink."
And I was like, do you charge extra for like the delivery and the installation? And he's like, no, everything's just in the price listed online. Yeah, do you buy it online? I'm like, oh, like you can't buy it like here physically? And he's like, nope. And that's it. So we went there, and then we had to come back.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah, but I guess I'm a little bit. We can move on to a little bit less important topic today. So, what happened to you, James?
Wait, hold on. I wanted to talk about that real quick because we had bought a new dishwasher and fridge a couple
expensive.
years back.
They're
expensive and everything, but it's like our old ones were just so broken that we couldn't use them anymore and stuff. So it's like
that would be the definition of broken.
We literally had them since we first moved in here back in like 2006 or 5. So they're
quite
just
old.
Very. But yeah, they were like extremely old, and we had to replace them.
I'm not even sure if the Big Drink was in town when you had that dishwasher.
Back in 2006.
2006, yeah.
But yeah, it like took them a while to ship them to us and stuff, because like they didn't have any in stock specifically. Like they didn't have the one that we were looking for. So it took them a while to ship them to us. It's so expensive, and like the installation is so bizarre.
Yeah, I do think I don't think I've had someone install. I don't think I've seen someone install it yet. So
I had to stay home when they were installing it because like all my family was out, so I had to stay home while it was happening.
Well, yeah, you can't just let a stranger in your house, So
no, because we'd been robbed before.
That too, yeah, that would do it.
We got trust issues, but for good reason.
We've got trust issues. I get constantly gaslit and lied to by my family and fall for it almost every time. Anyway, though, yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Does this have anything to do with your predicament earlier this week?
What was my predicament earlier this week again?
Well, I'm not sure how serious it is or how much I should be joking about it.
I have no legs.
That is the predicament that I was talking about. The fact that you have no legs.
My legs?
Because at first I was like, huh, that I was like, oh, he's making a joke.
You
Because
were
I saw
like,
the message.
you're like, what a funny joke.
I was in the
But it
middle of
wasn't a
taking my
joke.
finals, and so after I took my finals, I look at my phone. I see a Discord message like, "Yeah, I had to wait like 10 hours in urgent care today. It's kind of sucks. I have to." You like what you were worried about wasn't the medical problem that you had to be there for in urgent care. What you were worried about was the social interaction that came with that. So I
Oh,
was like,
absolutely, because I've never done this on my own. Like back in the
so
day, I had both my parents there to come with me, and
yeah,
I never had to go to the doctor. I just never
huh?
did. It
I
was
still
always another
haven't.
family member that had to go. So it was like me having to go for myself. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And I told my dad this, and he's like, "You'll be fine." And I'm like,
Just go
"No,
with it, dude.
no, no."
Yeah, so I was like, okay, maybe it's not as serious as he's making it out to be if he's so worried about the social thing instead of what's actually happened. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll joke about it a bit. And then you said me like you had no legs, and I was like, oh, that's I can't tell if that's like I can't tell if that's like you're exaggerating that you have no legs or like what does that really mean? Does that mean that you like physically had no legs? Like you had your legs cut off or something in urgent care? I was like, maybe I should tread about this carefully.
Yeah,
And then
hold on,
like
real quick.
and then I was like, oh, he's just joking about it. So I could make fun of it too. He says he has no legs. Nobody who loses their legs is like, I have no legs. So I start joking about it, and you're like, yeah, everything kind of sucks, and I'm in this wheelchair. I'm like, oh no.
Genuinely, my favorite thing of this entire situation was you going, "Are you actually okay?" Other than the fact that you have no legs now, like you're just like, where does the joke end and the pain begin?
Yeah. So James, do you want to explain what happened?
I just really quickly want to touch up on the fact that spoilers for Doctor Strange, we used this picture of Black Bolt's head imploding as our reaction images. So there's just like 5 images of Black Bolt's head exploding leading up to this conversation.
Yeah. There is that.
Because we can't communicate like normal people, so we have to use gifs and images. But I uh I had gotten what I thought was strep throat. It's not.
Yeah.
I just think I really had like a sore throat or something. But it was like on Sunday, like Saturday night up to Sunday morning,
Yeah.
my throat was so swollen
Oh,
and just
like
dried
actually
out.
swollen?
Yeah, like it, like not like from the outside, but from the inside.
Oh, you
It
can
was
feel
very
it.
hard. Yeah, it was very hard to like swallow to like uh eat or drink anything.
Ah, I see.
And so it was just like I was just going through it, and on like Saturday night I just like could not sleep because it hurt too much to breathe. And then like on Sunday morning I just like had the driest mouth and everything. I was just like
Yeah.
I could really go to the big drink. I think that would
You
help
could
me.
really use a
A drink from the
use an
big drink.
appetizer from the big drink.
An appetizer.
Yeah, I
Not a
mean, nobody knows what they serve at the big drink, even though
No,
it
I
might be
like that a lot
implied.
more. I
It might
like
be
it a lot
implied that
more.
they serve beverages at the big drink, but nobody really knows
Yeah, I like it a lot more that
because
appetizers has
nobody has
never
enough
referred
time to
to.
actually go to the big drink. But I heard it's a really famous place.
I just like that appetizers never refer to a drink, but at the big drink, that's entirely possible.
I mean, do they serve drinks with the appetizer? Is the
I don't
appetizer
know.
actually a drink? I There's no one there to confirm.
Is the drink just called the appetizer?
There could be a dish just called the appetizer, and it's a drink.
Yeah,
It could be.
it could be.
So yeah, you had a well, you
I had
think you
like
had
a
strep throat, but it wasn't actually strep throat.
no. I learned that when I went there on like a Tuesday or Monday.
Hmm?
I think it was Tuesday. When did I message you, Len? 010?
About
Yeah, that was
you
like
having
Tuesday.
you being like Tuesday.
Yeah, it was Tuesday. So Sunday morning then I wake up and I'm like just standing in my bathroom,
Hmm?
unable to. Firstly, I wake up, I just feel so sick and just
You're
bad
pretty
that
out of
like
it,
I
right?
oh my god, I felt so horrible.
Is
Like
it
I
like just
before
normal sickness symptoms, like you have like your headache or
I
something, or
mean
is it just the throat?
it was the throat. I had a headache and stuff. I just like a total
But you
migraine and I
always have a
just
headache, right?
yeah. Uh that's because I have debilitating Yeah, I'm not gonna joke about real sickness, but
Oh, come on now.
I have debilitating alcoholism. But no, that's I just like yeah, I had a really bad headache. I just sat in my bed for like 4 hours straight after waking up very early because I couldn't sleep throughout the night. So I was just like awake already. And
Ah,
then like I got a couple hours of sleep and then I woke up and I'm like trying to breathe and everything because my throat's all swollen. All of my like I've drinking all of the water bottles I had on my desk, which I
hmm.
have 5 of by the way.
I see.
Because over like the course of the week I'll sometimes grab one, like drink it, not finish it. It'll be like 1/3 left. And I just went through all of them like to try and like rehydrate myself and it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
Um but then like I got up finally and I went to the bathroom and I just like kind of stood there and I'm like, if I move another inch, like I was just standing in the bathroom, I'm like, if I move another inch, something's going to happen. I'm either going to have horrible diarrhea or I'm going to throw up, and I'm just going to let my body decide which one it is so then I can react to it and not be like in the position to throw up, then have to
Your
like,
body was in war with your mind at that moment.
yes, I was like, I need to let it tell me what's going to happen so I can react to it, not me try to choose and then fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, not me go to throw up and then have to like go to the bathroom
The
instead and
other thing
everything.
happened.
Yeah.
You're like, all right,
Uh,
you're like in prep position for like the throw up, and you're like, well, I have to shit.
Yeah, well, that's actually happened when I was like a lot younger, and I got sick so much when I went to school. Like,
Yeah, well, school is a pretty dirty place,
it's
actually.
a fucking
It is
disgusting
a
place.
hellhole,
I don't know why they allowed
a
kids to go back
breeding
to
ground
school.
for bacteria and
I, I
pandemic
truly,
brewing.
I truly do not know why they let kids go back to
Each
school so
school environment
quickly.
is a pandemic on its own.
It really is. I, dude, I would be sick for like probably 20 days total out of the entire school year, and it would be
Yeah.
like an entire week long of being sick.
Oh, I see.
That like, that's how bad I used to get sick at school, and it was like that's how I felt even worse than that. Like I didn't feel sick after I got the COVID shot. I know a lot of people did, but I just have to imagine that this is how like my dad and my sister felt because they were horribly sick. And so
It
I'm
wasn't
just
that bad, I
standing.
don't think.
Well, like they were like literally bedridden. I had to stay home with them, like constantly running back and forth, going to the store to get like Pedialyte and like just other like stuff to help them and everything.
It might have been that bad then.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Maybe.
Okay, it might be that bad.
I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. And then you're like, they were bedridden, like they could have died at any moment. Like, oh, maybe it's that bad.
They literally both had throw up buckets that I had to constantly like replace with an empty one, go wash out,
Yeah, I
then
don't
give
think I've
them
heard
back.
anyone be like react that bad to it.
Yeah, I haven't heard it either. It's just them, and I'm like, I
Like
don't
for
know
me, it
what's
was just a
wrong with
little
you
bit of
guys.
swelling and it was a bit sore, but that's about
Right,
it.
and it's like, and then it's with them, and it's like horrible. I'm like, you guys are just fucking like,
Their entire
like
systems just shut down.
yeah, you
Windows
guys have
doo
just like
doo
air
doo doo.
conditioned walls on your like immune system or something.
Yeah,
But I like couldn't move for a while, and then like I eventually I did one or the other. I'll leave it up to the audience to decide.
and
No,
you don't have to decide that. Let's move on.
I used the bathroom and everything, and then I went downstairs, and like I just kind of hobbling and stuff. Like I threw on a hoodie, some like sweat shorts, or like gym shorts and everything.
Your classic sick guy outfit.
It was my Rooster Teeth hoodie. My Rooster Teeth, like their charity live stream hoodie that like I'd gotten, I was so proud of. And
Uh,
I was just wearing, I walk around the house with the hood up and everything. I go get like a Gatorade and a couple water bottles from the garage, and I'm just standing there holding them all, like drinking them. I'm looking at my dad in the kitchen, and he's like, "Fuck's up with you?" I'm like, "I don't feel well." And he
Mr.
was just like,
Stark, I'm gonna fucking die. That's what you said to him.
I should have. I really wish I did. But yeah, it was essentially like, oh, Mr. Stark, I'm gonna fucking die and everything. Like I had a super stuffed nose because
Yeah.
for some reason my throat drying out means that my nose immediately becomes like the fucking most stuffed in the world.
Or you could just
Um,
have, two symptoms, which is stuffy nose and sore
no,
throat. Okay.
probably yeah. But yeah, like I then like kind of I just do a couple chores and everything, and my dad's
Yeah.
like, go upstairs. I'm like, I have to finish loading the dishwasher first. I have to finish.
Let me
He's like,
do this.
I'm like, I have to complete the job. If I don't complete the job, then what am I? What use am I?
I'm useless.
What am I to this world if I cannot be of use?
What
And I'm
am
like,
I?
so I finished that and everything, and I think it was also my turn to cook food that night.
Okay.
And so
And they made you cook food, right?
no, they're
Okay.
just like go to bed. And so I
I
went
can imagine you
upstairs.
just like them being like, I can imagine them being like, James, I know that you feel like you're gonna die, but it's your turn to cook food, and you got to do what you got to do. And then like you, while you're cooking food, is so angry that you're both sick and have to cook food that you're just like, I'm gonna make everyone else sick too. And you just start hawking up on this food.
No,
Enjoy.
that comes later.
Oh, okay.
But like Joe comes over and everything, and he's like, "Time to record a podcast." And we're like, both sitting down, and I'm like, for some reason, I like, I've been feeling cold the entire day. Like I felt cold all night. I was like taking every blanket I could find, like
Yeah.
wrapping myself in them. And like the moment we sat down, I was like, I'm gonna fucking burn to death. And I immediately like busted off the jacket. I'm like fanning myself the entire recording and everything.
It's
And
like
like
you're
Joe,
outside at Disneyland in the middle of the summer
it
type of hot.
was it was literally like that. I was like literally burning. I like leaned the chair back. I was just like kind of sitting like slouched, like not paying attention because like my brain was fucking fried and everything.
Yeah.
Joe literally carried the episode. I'm pretty sure. I don't really remember what happened. I'm gonna have to listen through when I
I can't believe you decided
upload
to
it.
actually record something when you're in
Well,
that
it was
state.
like we didn't have to, but I was like, he's already here because he just like texted me here, and then like I hear a knock at the door. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
I see.
and so
Well
because he lives
planned
down this
coordination. I'm
always.
here.
Hey,
I
Peter. And so like we record the episode, we finish, and like he just bounces out, and I just like do like the chores and everything, and then like they're like, Jim, go to fucking bed, and I'm like, okay, and like at 5 o'clock, I went
Ugh.
upstairs and just fell asleep for like 3 hours, and then
Yeah.
I just hear my dad coming upstairs going, "Good night, Jim," and I'm just like, "Ugh." And so like I wake up on Monday and my throat doesn't feel as swollen. Like I'd taken some medicine and stuff for
Okay.
like a sore throat, for cough, for like a flu and everything. And I'd been taking that like throughout the day and stuff. Uh and so like when I wake up on Monday, I'm like, okay, I don't feel as sick anymore. And we have a lot of slides I have to finish. I'm yawning right now.
Yeah. You are.
And so yeah, we go in on Monday and everything. I drop my sister off at the bus stop, go to work, and like I'm just working and everything, and I'm just like, just a zombie the entire day.
You're an alternate for that day.
I yeah, for that day I'm an alternate. I don't think I do that much. I just like physically can't. Then comes Tuesday and like same thing happens and everything. And oh yeah, and it had been like my brother's like, "Oh, I want to go get this food." I'm like, "I literally cannot eat that cuz of how my throat is." Like I could not eat breakfast that morning. I could not do anything. I
It's
just like
just
was
like,
like,
hey, you want to try out my new crunchy wrapped quesadilla, extra crunchy wrap?
that's
Like,
literally what he was like. That's literally what he was like. He
and
was
you're
like,
like, you
"You know what I really want?"
motherfuckers, you knew
Yeah.
that my throat was all
Literally.
fucked up, and you still made this food.
Hey, he was like, "Hey, you know what I really want, Jim? I really want a dry, cold sub sandwich from this place that is super hard, crunchy bread that's gonna
You
be
know, I was
horrible
thinking
for
about
you."
going over to the pasta place with the warm, soft pasta, but I don't know. Today I'm feeling like kind of an asshole. So
So
yeah,
I'm like,
Jim, you
I
do it?
no, I went to Taco Bell and I'm like, bean burrito, because it's just
Burrito.
bean burrito, please, no onion, and like
I'll have
I'm just
some of
like
your finest bean burritos, please.
I'm like, I know it's good. I know it's just gonna like literally slip down because it's mostly just fucking goop, and it does.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe Taco Bell food actually.
Yeah.
It's either really dry and crunchy or it's goop.
Here's the thing. I've seen how they make the beans. It's goop.
It's Gwyneth Paltrow's goop.
It's Gwyneth Paltrow's goop.
Hey, Gwyneth, you going to the Big Goop tonight? It's just their spin-off restaurant from the Big Drink.
Pop up store.
Yeah, it's like they saw the success of the Big Drink and they wanted to replicate it with the Big Goop.
um. So yeah, then Tuesday comes by and everything, and
So
like
you
it
wake up
repeat.
Tuesday, you're feeling better than Monday, or is it just the same?
No, it's like in the morning, it's horrible. In the like the rest of the day, it's pretty fine. It's all right. It just doesn't feel well. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, like when I'm going to sleep, it's just horrible again. And then it like repeats. And so then on Tuesday, like my boss is literally just like, dude, go go home. Like don't like get off early and
Like
everything.
you
Don't
are clearly sick and you're here at work where I'm standing next to you
well
and I
here's
could
the
get sick too.
thing. Here's the thing, JD. You'd think that's the reasoning. It's just more because we have a lot of signs and I need to be cleared to work for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So he needs to make sure I can. It's not that he's concerned for my health. It's that he's concerned that I won't be able to make the signs.
Yeah, that is I mean, I'd be concerned about that too.
Yeah, so he's like go to urgent care and get checked out, like leave right now and go. And so I go and everything. I go to urgent care.
Oh,
I
that
know
day, huh?
that literally after he told me that. I
Okay.
go to urgent care and everything. Extremely nervous. I know that I have to have like my ID and like my medical card ready and everything, so like I have that stuff
Nervous
sticking out of my wallet.
for the urgent why though?
I don't like social interaction, and this is like one of those very important social interactions where I have to pay attention. I have to know what's happening, and I
Oh,
have
so
to
you're saying you
understand
generally
everything.
don't pay attention.
I know I do. It's just like when stuff like this happens, I if I because I get so nervous, I get very distracted, and then I miss like one thing, and that's the most vital thing half the time.
Yeah, and then what? You're too embarrassed to be like, "Sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you say that again?" Or you
It's
just
more
let
that
it
like
go?
it's more like they going at a fucking 1,000 miles an hour with how they talk, and it's like
Oh, I'm
hold
sure they
on,
do.
what was that part? Wait, hold on, and they're like, moving on, and it's like, no,
We're moving on.
no.
No.
But it's like, yeah, and it's he was like talking to me and everything, and then he's like, so your mother is listed as your like I give him like my information.
Yeah.
He's like the your emergency contact because this is all old information because I never went to the hospital.
Right. It's
Like,
pretty outdated.
so you're here by yourself now. You're an adult and everything. So we want to make sure that all this information is still up to date. They're like, is this the right phone number? I'm like, no, that's a very old number that we don't use anymore. Here's my phone number. I'm like, okay, and your emergency contact is still, and he says my mom's name, and I'm like, fuck no, it ain't.
You just like you just slap the shit out of him like hell no.
Not that crazy, bitch. I don't want her coming here and smothering me to death on my bed.
Imagine, imagine your mother just walking on your like you walk into the urgent care and your mother's there and it's just like, well, fuck.
What will happen is she'll walk in backwards, trip over the cord, and unplug me. I'm not joking. I'm 100% sure that's how it would fucking go down. And it would all be
Oh yeah.
intentional. But because of her actions, the way that she does it, people will be like, it's just a silly accident. No.
James, you're overreacting. It was an accident. What are you talking about, dude? They're just everyone else is trying to gaslight you into thinking that
Yeah.
that it was just an accident.
But yeah, like he's telling me some information. He's like, okay, and when was your father born? And I'm like, fuck. I never remember. I'm like, is it okay if I only know the day and month? And he's like, I'm gonna need the year too. Can you do your best ballpark? And I'm like, okay, he's 60 years old. What's
Now it's
2022
math time.
minus
It's just like
60?
it's just like the math meme of like the numbers flying to you, zooming on your
Yeah.
face.
Because like when it comes to like math where it's like that and it's like I gotta subtract it, I'm like, fuck, it's getting too complicated. I know it's not that complicated, but my brain's making it even more complicated. I'm getting stressed out because there's people lining up behind me and everything, and it's like getting all intense. I'm like,
Yeah.
1971, and he's like, okay, and he enters it, and I'm like, after he says that, I pull out my phone and I check it, and it's 1961. I'm like, fuck.
You were off by 10 years. Yeah, your dad just got 10 years younger in the government records.
But yeah, like, and then all that gets solved and everything, and he's like, okay, here's this. You have to pay a copay of this amount of money. I'm like, here's my credit card. And he's like, thank you.
Thank you. And he does that meme where it's like, all right, let's check you out now. And then like at the end, the credit card declines. And so he has to
That
make you
is
sick again. And
Dude, that's like such a fucking fear of mine is that like my credit card will one day decline on something big.
Yeah.
Where it's like I don't have physical
Finally, I'm about
money to
to
pay
buy
for.
my own place. I've saved up my entire life savings for this. Credit card declines.
Finally, I can pay for the cancer medication.
Credit card declines.
But yeah, I get all that information taken, and I'm just like sitting in the waiting room, like my foot's fucking tapping. I'm like staring at like a fucking hole through the ground and everything, just like fucking intently, just like waiting. And
Yeah.
I hear my name get called. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. They go and everything. They're like checking me up and everything. They're like, okay, and like asking me all these questions and stuff. And
Yeah, the whole like how
I
are you
can't
feeling or
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, like how you feeling? What are your symptoms?
What's
What's
wrong
going
with
on?
you?
What's up with you? I'm like, she's like, okay, and what's your pain? And I'm like, right now? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, it's like a 5 right now. And she's like, okay, but I'm like, but no, no, you need to know this. In the morning and the night, it's like a fucking full on 8. Like I can't breathe. I can't sleep because of it. And she's like, okay, sweetie. And I'm like,
Yeah, and
don't do
she's
that
like,
to me. This is
"What
the
are you?
problem.
You patronizing me right now, woman?"
Yeah, like hold on. My pain isn't bad right now, but it fluctuates.
She's just like treating you like Amber Heard, just overreacting on everything. She's like, "Oh, okay." And he punched you, he threw you across the room, and you landed on the pool table. Okay.
Yeah,
And he also
exactly.
flew across the room with you, landed on top of you, started pummeling your face in. Okay.
hmm
And you saw that the carpet was really dirty, like really dirty. Like, okay.
And you started covering up your bruises with makeup that wasn't out
and
till a
maybe and
year
maybe or
after.
maybe not you sniffed cocaine in courtroom. I don't know.
Did a whole pound of coke right in front of the jury and then offered
Did a
them some.
whole line
Okay.
and then another line right after that. Like,
You said to the judge, "Excuse me, I need to do a little bump."
excuse me, I need a little pick me up.
As you then pulled out a giant white vial of
You
substance,
pull out a
dumped it on
bong
your
that's
hand,
filled with
and
coke and
just kind of
start
like
smoking
smashed
it.
it against your nose.
Anyway, so yeah,
A
you
bong
talk
full
you
of
talk to this
coke.
nurse and what they say about your thing.
So this was like just the preliminary thing where they're like, "Okay, what's your weight? What's your blood pressure and everything?"
Yeah, and then
And
you say
I
like 560 pounds, right?
no, I say I'm proud of myself, JD, because I used to weigh like 20 pounds more than what it said, and I
Oh,
like felt so happy because
oh
like
wait,
it
so
had
the
been
outdated information was 20 pounds heavier than what you are now.
yes,
Damn, that's pretty
and
good
I was
actually.
like yeah, I it was like I'd weighed myself like a year back and everything, and I like saw the weight I was and everything, and I was like, that's very disappointing. And I'm like, I know it's because I eat junk food because of how work is and just fucking pandemic and everything. And it's
Yeah,
like I saw that and I'm like, I'm literally 20 pounds less and I cannot feel any bit happier. Like I'm dying right now in this hospital, but man,
you're
does that
cracking
make
that
me feel
smile.
good. Um, yeah, I like genuinely felt good. I was gonna like say it to like the nurse, but I was like, I no, she doesn't know me. She doesn't need to know that.
Mhm.
I was gonna be like, I'm 20 pounds lighter than I when I weighed myself a year ago. Like that means nothing to this lady, but yeah, we do the blood pressure. She's like, okay, blood pressure's all normal, and now we're gonna swab you for COVID and strep throat. I'm like, what?
All right, pull
She's
down
like,
your pants.
um, she like does the nose one, which is something I'd like never had somebody do to me. I'd like done it with the self test once,
Hmm.
and then it's like it felt so weird because I know it's not the invasive one where like they basically shove it into your fucking brain and stuff.
Yeah.
But like she does it and everything. I'm like, that feels weird. I've never done that before. Like, okay, time for a strep throat. Open up your mouth. I'm like, oh god, no. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you.
Yeah.
Stuff cannot go in my mouth.
Yeah, I don't think you've mentioned that. Why not,
So
James?
so like I can eat food and stuff. I
Oh,
can
so
eat like
food can go in your mouth, but other things can't.
it's a weird thing. I
What
know
about
it's a weird
beverages,
thing.
huh? As like for example, beverages
But
from the big drink.
listen, man, that can't be classified as food or beverage.
Well, nobody knows.
It's like how TGI Fridays couldn't classify the mozzarella sticks as mozzarella, so they never called them mozzarella. They just called them mozz.
Mott sticks.
They're not cheese, but they're
And I just
mozz.
have to clarify this: TGI Fridays is not the big drink. Just so everyone knows,
Nor is it TGIF.
they
It's
are
Fridays
they are
now.
very
It's rebranded a couple of
Sorry, my bad.
times.
Just Fridays. Yeah, they were very
The
different
stratosphere,
establishments.
the stratosphere, no, the strat.
The Strat.
Fucking hate it. Um, but
Yeah,
like
so you get
I
swabbed.
can't. Yeah, I get swabbed where she has to like rub the roof of my mouth and stuff,
Hmm?
and I can't deal with like objects being put in my mouth that aren't food or beverage.
Why? Is it
Like,
just like, is it like a childhood trauma type thing, or
I mean, probably for a couple of
I
reasons.
can't remember it, but maybe.
No, I can remember.
All right.
But no, it's not bad. It's I just don't like stuff being in my mouth in general that isn't like food or drink. So
Sure.
it's like when brushing my teeth, it's like I can never like kind of like go too far back when like brushing like the backside of my teeth.
Yeah.
And so it's like because it's just like it immediately sets it off, and I'm like on the fucking verge
What,
of
you have
just
like a
gagging and
gag?
throwing
Oh, you
up.
have like a really big gag
It's a
reflex or
it's a
something?
it's a fucking hair trigger essentially. And so like she like hit it, and
Maybe you've
it's
been
like I'm
waiting.
like I literally pull myself away from her, and I'm like I'm so sorry, and she's like it's okay, it's nothing I haven't seen before. I'm like yeah,
Wait, it's really dark?
not not the greatest thing, but
Hold on.
yeah, she swabs me and then she sticks me in a room for like 40 fucking minutes straight.
Wait,
I'm just
sorry.
sitting.
I was a little bit I was talking to someone
Um,
real quick, but you were what? It was really dark? That's where you lost me at.
I didn't say it was dark. I
No, I
had
meant like
yanked myself.
she swabbed you, and then she got like the thing from your mouth and was like, it was a gross or something? Because I heard what she was like, oh,
Yeah,
I've seen it before.
yeah, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like for like yanking myself away while you're trying to like swab me. She's like, it's okay, it's nothing I haven't seen before. I'm like, that could have some weird, gross context if you really think about it.
I mean, I
But
guess so.
like,
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're probably not the only one who doesn't like stuff in the mouth.
heyo.
That isn't food.
But then then she takes me to like a room and everything. She sits me down, and it's like, okay, so the test only takes 10 minutes. There's just one person ahead of you. It'll be done soon. I'm like, cool, awesome.
Well, I mean,
40 minutes later of sitting in this room with like not looking at my phone or going on it and stuff. I'm like texting you during it, but like not also not really. I'm not responding super fast.
mhm.
Um and I'm just waiting, and I just ominously hear this one doctor laugh, and I'm like, is that Bruce Green? Is that Bruce Green in the hallway? Because
Yeah,
it's the
you heard
same.
MP Bruce Green laugh in the hallway.
It's like literally his laugh, like where he goes with that very specific sort of laugh he has and everything. I'm like, that's so unique. Is he just literally out there? And then I heard the guy talk. I'm like, oh, okay, no, it's not, but he sounds just like him. And then like again, 40 minutes later, the doctor finally comes in, and the guy he's like, "Oh, James." Oh, I just said my last name. Fuck.
I guess you
Uh,
did, huh?
shit. JD, edit it out. No,
Yep.
you don't have to.
Grab the no. No, I will. I will. Even though nobody watches this late, but you know, it's whatever.
I watch it,
Okay, then you'll hear a funny sound.
and I will fucking know if you don't. Yeah, like he's like, James, and he says my last name and everything. I'm like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got it right.
got
And
it.
he's like,
James,
okay, cool. And
no
he's
last
like,
name.
no last name, and it's like he's like, okay, and what are you in here for? I'm like, I think I have strep throat. And he's like, oh, right. And then like he looks at the TV, and that is the last time I ever saw that man's eyes look at me.
Yeah, I mean, wait till you
because
say he's just repulsed at what he sees. I mean, it's
because
just
I just genuinely hear him just like look at the fucking TV and just go, oh wow, is that the lottery? And I'm like,
whoa.
oh, like
Is that the big
lottery.
drink? I
And like I'm like looking down at the ground, and he's like, oh, is that the lottery? I look up and I see he's looking at TV, and I see it say lottery. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize the lottery was happening. It's not that kind of lottery. It's the NHL lottery draft, the
oh
National Hockey League.
oh my god, my
Oh my
favorite.
god! I was literally like, I didn't know they played the lottery on ESPN. And then I realized what it was. And he's like, I didn't realize that's happening tonight. And he just never looks me in the eyes again. He like looks at a clipboard and then at the TV only.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty weird. Usually doctors would like look at me.
Right, they'd like acknowledge my fucking presence. They wouldn't be like so obsessed with the fucking National Hockey League lottery draft, you fucker. I was worried and you didn't do shit.
I was dying.
And he's just not looking me in the eyes and everything.
So what? He's just getting
okay,
information now, or
yeah, he's like, okay, so your strep results came back. They're negative and everything. I'm like, okay, good. That's good. It's probably just like a little cold or something. And he's like, okay, but your COVID results will take a couple days to come back. I'm like, man, do they? Do they really though?
couple days, huh?
I feel like you could just do the whole like self-test kit thing where it's just you put it in the water, you shake it around and everything. You're like,
Yeah,
no,
that
yeah,
take a couple
that came
days,
back.
huh?
Couple days. Man, it's gonna take a couple days for somebody to walk by and be like, "Oh shit, I gotta get those to the fucking person."
Huh.
But yeah, he's like, "It's gonna take a couple days." So what I recommend is like he checks my ears and he checks my fucking nose with the same stethoscope, and I'm like, ew, ew. Uh, and then like he checks my throat and he like does my heartbeat thing again. Doesn't look me in the eyes when he's doing any of this, which is understandable for the stuff where he has to look down the stethoscope. But then when he's checking my heartbeat, he's just staring dead at the fucking TV still and just going, wow. Oh, your heartbeat seems normal, by the way. And then like he
Well,
moves over to the other side.
He's probably put a decent amount in that lottery. Who knows?
You fucking guess, dude. What is happening with me? And then like he's like, okay, so I'm gonna give you a prescription for this, and this. It's a throat solution, a cough solution, and a coldness solution, a soreness solution. And I'm like, hold on, what are they though? And he's just like, mm-hmm. And then he's like, you probably shouldn't go to work for the rest of the week. And I'm like, that. Oh God, no. Like I was, I'd love to say yes, but it's like fucking horrible timing and everything.
Right.
Because it's like literally
we in the middle of a big order, right?
Yeah, we have 3 big fucking jobs that just got dropped on our laps essentially and everything. And it's like the way our fucking like Franklin doesn't do any fucking work. Like I literally had my boss complain to me the other day. He's like, he's not doing any fucking work at all. I'm like, yeah, I know. I literally have to do everything. Like
I know.
He prints stuff off.
He's my brother.
Throws it onto a pile. Yeah, exactly. Like he literally prints stuff off, throws it onto a pile as I'm working on something at the bottom of that pile, and then goes like, "Why aren't these signs done?" I don't know, Franklin. What the fuck have you done?
Well, he's clearly printed out the signs and throw them onto the pile.
Wow, great. Why'd you have to stare at your phone and go outside the smoke for 20 minutes to do that, though? You fucker. You motherfucker.
Just calling out Franklin.
Yeah. You know, it's just like annoying because it's like I know I have to go in because they won't have anybody else to do it.
Why, they didn't tell you what you were sick with?
No, because they don't know. Like I tell them I have strep throat. I've been told that I have these like white pus like things at the back of my throat, and they're like, "Oh wow." Like they don't confirm if it's there or not. Okay. I don't know. Somebody just randomly told me that. I'm like, "Oh my god, do I? I don't know still." They
Who told you
tell
that,
me.
James? Was it one of those compulsive?
Yeah, it was Franklin actually.
Because that
motherfucker. So like I don't know.
If you ask me whether or not you were saying like, is there like white pus in the back of my throat? I'll be like, oh my god, it's like it's not white. It's like milky almost. Oh my god, it's disgusting.
It's
just
like
completely lied to you. Like
I'd say it's bleach or
it's
pale.
Like black. Like oh my god.
I think there's mold growing in you.
Holy crap! There's like stringy stuff in there. What is that?
What is that? But no, it's like I have no clue and everything, and then it's just like, okay, goodbye, have a good day. And I'm like, great, I'm so glad I waited fucking 40 minutes for this shit. And then I go home and everything, and I'm like, they gave me a list of shit, like it's just all this bullshit that I have to like keep track of. It's like, here's the 3 medications you're gonna have to take for these whole specific things and everything. And I'm like, great, can't wait for the pharmacy to have this stuff ready. Never been to a pharmacy before in my fucking life. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, JD.
Not like a CVS or anything?
I've never been. They were like talking to me about. They're like, okay, what's your primary pharmacy? I'm like, oh, I don't have one. They're like, well, you're gonna need one. I'm like, I don't
Well,
know.
you're
What do
gonna
you
need
recommend,
one.
lady? Yeah, they're like, you're gonna need one. I'm like, what do you recommend? Like, what's the best? And she's like, I'll write you down for this Walgreens on and then she like reads off the street, and I'm like, yeah, that works for me. There's not a Walgreens there. It's a fucking CVS. I've been lied to.
Yeah, wow, surprised that you're lied to, huh? At this
You
point
know,
in your life,
somehow, every time,
every
every
time it's just a surprise, and you love
you know
surprises.
these strangers who are supposed to have my best interest in mind.
Oh, yeah. Strangers, best interest in mind in the same sentence. That's woo.
Sorry, these doctors.
Nurses and doctors, yes.
Fucking Christ, dude. It's like I go to the CVS and I walk in. The first thing I see is this big sweaty dude in a fucking gray sweatshirt staring
And
me
then I
down.
realized it was a mirror.
No, Jay, he was taller than me. He was bigger than me. He was sweatier than me. And he was staring me right in my eyes.
Oh, sorry, that was me actually.
Whoa, JD, you're white?
Always have been. Ever since I
You do
visited the big
you do a
drink.
Tropic Thunder?
Ever since I visited the big drink, things have been different for me, James.
Yeah, like I walk in, I'm like walking up to the pharmacy, and this dude's just fucking staring me down the entire walk up because it's at the back of the CVS. And I'm like
Yeah.
walking the aisle, and I like just stop halfway because the dude's like fucking intensely staring me down, like he's about to just like charge at me and shit. I like shake my head and like shrug my shoulders and like what are you doing and everything. The guy just keeps staring at me. So like I'm just fuck this. Like I just don't want it. Like it has been too much of a day. I've been too tired, too stressed the entire day. Like I wait those 40 fucking minutes just be like,
Uh huh.
you know, I have strep. We don't know if you have COVID. We don't know what's wrong with you. Here are these three random medications we hope will work. Give fuck off. And it's like you had me sitting in that room for 40 fucking minutes straight and then didn't look me in the eyes the entire time just to tell me that.
Wait,
And
so at
it's
that
like,
point you just walk out like without getting the thing?
well, I also didn't. I went there like immediately after. I'm like, they probably don't even have my fucking prescription ready. What am I doing here? Like, I leave and everything, and I just like call ahead later on and everything. And then,
Okay.
like, I come back later on and everything. It's like 6:30. They close at 8. I'm like, cool. I'm just gonna get in line. I'll be there. There are only 3 people in line. No giant fucking sweaty guy staring me dead in the eyes like he's fucking got vengeance for me or some shit.
I am vengeance. Are you reminded of that Batman gif you sent me of like the really like big dude in the Batman mask?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But like, yeah, I go in and I'm like, "Hi, I'm here to pick up a prescription for James," and then I say my last name. Like,
Yeah.
okay, let's see. I don't see anything. I'm like, oh no, don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't. And the problem is, I'm at the right CVS.
Oh,
I
sure.
know I'm there,
Okay.
and I didn't bring the fucking paper or take a picture of the right prescriptions for me to pick up just in case they didn't have it, so like I could just go and fucking find them on the shelves and everything.
Yeah.
Like I forgot to grab that and do that. And I'm like, don't fucking do this to me. And I was really hoping they weren't gonna be like, what are you picking up? I was gonna be like, I don't fucking know. He's like, I'm like, yeah, I just went to the doctor. They got it prescribed today. They called ahead like a couple hours ago and everything. You know, it should be all taken care of. And she's like, okay, give me a second. She walks over to like this fucking old guy, like literally looks like the guy who helped Iron Man build his armor in the first movie. And she's like, hey,
In
do
the
we have a
cave?
prescription? Yeah. She's like,
Okay.
hey, do we have a prescription for James? And he's like, ah. Like he doesn't speak. He's just like, ah. And she's like, okay, sir. And then she walks into the back and like fucking disappears. And I'm just standing at the front by myself, like, what? Why is this my life?
Why are all your
Why?
social interactions so weird, James?
Why is it always like when they leave me, it just gets weirder? Like it's when they stop interacting with me, it gets worse. It's like it's already bad enough that it's happening to me. When it stops being with me and it goes to somebody else, it's just even worse. So she comes back and she's like, okay, so there was a problem with your insurance. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, we can't get you all of them, but we can get you the cough syrup. And I'm like, I don't need the cough syrup. That was the one I didn't need.
Yeah. Oh, you needed the other ones?
Yeah, I needed the fucking cold, and I needed not the cold, the sore throat, and like the treatment for that one, and like another. There was an ibuprofen for a very specific thing. I'm like, I didn't really need that because it was like for something that I didn't have. They were just like arbitrarily like, you need this. So I'm like, I don't, but okay. It's like they're like, okay, it's gonna take us 15 to 20 minutes. I'm like, to get cough syrup. It's gonna take you 15 to 20 minutes to get cough syrup.
Ah.
My phone was on 5%, and I did not want to go out to my car and just wait
God.
this out. So what I did is I walked over to the liquor aisle and made a real big decision. I was very tempted, JD.
You're just about to just slam down a drink, huh? You're about to
There
take that vodka
Voodoo
bottle,
Ranger.
pour a couple shots for you at the bar.
There was a big can of Voodoo Ranger, and man, was I.
Then your coworker storms
thirsty.
in angrily, grabs the vodka bottle, says, "Are you drinking this shit again?" And you don't respond, so he throws the bottle at you, goes right past your
I
head.
respond, but I go, "Oh yeah!"
And then you pull out another bottle, and he throws that bottle at you too, and it severs your finger, and maybe your
severs my finger and everything.
And at that point, you have a mental breakdown. So you go you write blood all over the CVS windows.
And then when the stories were told, he frames it that it was self-defense, and he was throwing those bottles at me to keep me away, despite the fact that I had went away from them.
Claim that you drew a penis at one of the paintings on the CVS.
But yeah, like my phone's at 5%, and I'm just staring at the fucking liquor aisle and just trying to make a decision. And then, I walk back over to the pharmacy, and I'm like, it's been over 20 minutes. My phone is literally on 1% now. And I see that there's 3 seats like next to the line.
Yeah.
So I just sit down and like the line just kind of like forms in front of me. Like people walk past me and stuff. I'm just staring straight at the ground. Like the fucking like just I've just got like some sort of problem or something. Just staring straight at the like
you were that weird sweaty guy in that CVS at that point.
No, but here's the thing. I wasn't making eye contact. I was doing everything but. I was staring at the bottom shelf right in front of me, just reading the same box. Like, I'd literally, like, been staring at it for, like, 10 minutes straight. And I'm like, why do they have 5 boxes of the same medicine, but each box is weirdly shaped, but the quantity is still the same in each box, and the dosage doesn't change? They just have different boxes.
It gets a bit boring to have the same box over and over again, So
I had one that stands up, one that lays down, one that's very long, one that's not long, one that's squared. It's like,
okay, so what? You finally get your cough medicine after a while?
No, I don't.
Oh,
because then I hear my name get called. There's no line, so I walk up and I'm like, cool, time to get my cough medicine. And she's like, okay, it's gonna be $35. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean it's gonna be $35 for cough medicine?
For cough syrup?
I'm not even getting the other medications. And she's like, I know, sir. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and bump this down, and I just hear like 80 fucking register noises of her scanning in stuff.
Bumping this down? Like what? Are you bartering for cough syrup or what's going on?
Yeah, like she's hitting it like with every like receipt or like discount price she can get it, and she's also registering somebody else's fucking purchase at the same time. So she has like 8 bags in her hand, just going, just fucking scanning them like crazy. And I'm just like, I'm standing there and just like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't have the mental capacity for this. I've been here for an hour. I want to leave.
Huh.
And then she walks away again. And I'm standing there alone. There's the other 2 pharmacy workers just standing there, like, scanning out their stuff because it's the end of the day. And somebody gets in line behind me. And I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to take, lady. I think they'll be closed. But there's some lady behind me and everything. And like, she comes back, she gives the people in the drive-through their stuff, then she walks over to me, gives me my thing, and I'm like waiting to like purchase it. Like I take out my card to go put it in, and it's like she just doesn't like send it through because she keeps talking to like the old guy from Iron Man 1. And she keeps talking to him, and I'm like, I just want to get my medicine. I want to
Yeah.
leave. Please. Let me be. Let me be free. And I finally fucking pay for it. $15, and I leave, and I go to my car, I plug my phone in, and I look at the time, and I'm like, holy shit, they closed 6 minutes ago.
Oh.
I've been here for an hour and a half. It was supposed to be 20 minutes.
Damn. So damn.
It was supposed to be 20 minutes.
Time passes pretty fast when you were
No, it didn't.
when you were zoned out looking at the ground, huh? At those weird shaped boxes.
JD, it didn't though. I was aware of every second that passed.
Every second was a war in my mind. I was fighting battles, mental battles.
And then when I leave, I go past the drive-through because the line's too big. So I go past the drive-through to get out like the other exit and stuff. And I look over, and there's a fucking anime car. Somebody that works at the pharmacy has a fucking super pimped out anime car, and I'm like, huh, I wonder who it is. Is it the like Hispanic like short lady mom that helped me?
No, God,
is
no.
It's
It's 100% the doctor, the actual
is it the
pharmacist
scientist
guy.
from Iron Man 1?
Scientist.
No. It's the fucking Asian kid with a ponytail that just didn't say a word the entire time. I'm like, I know it's your car. Why'd you park it right in front of the drive-thru?
That's pretty funny.
So that was my Tuesday.
Ah, I see. Huh. So,
Oh my god.
you going to the big drink tonight?
I'm gonna kill myself. Oh my god,
how's the progress been on that PC, huh?
Dude, fuck me, man.
You know, I feel like every single time you go out to do something sounds like whenever my parents or my grandparents have to go out to do something, where it's supposed to take like 10 minutes, and it's literally just supposed to take 10 minutes.
It's not my fault.
And then they take like 4 hours to do it.
But it's not my fault though.
Oh, I see.
It's just not my fault. Like, if it was my fault in any of these scenarios ever, I would be fine with the consequences of being an
what
idiot.
I've learned from the
But
Amber Heard Johnny
fault.
Depp trial is to never really believe a testimony. And, I'm not saying that I don't believe you.
They stood in that line for everything Rooster Teeth at Level Up Expo.
I'm not saying that I don't believe you.
It's not my fault.
I'm just saying that there's the way to interpret it is open for anyone listening, and it's been 6 months almost, James, since I first pitched the idea, or since we first talked about the PC thing. Half a year. Quite a long time, isn't it, James?
Katie, you're talking, and there's a dog scratching at my door, and I'm pretty sure there's a sound of fucking bees in my head. I don't know how much longer I can hang on. This boat
then
is
maybe
moving.
You should just let go, huh?
Yeah, I'm holding on as strong as I can. But I know the moment
maybe
we
it's
hit a
just time
bump,
to take a dip in the water.
I know the moment we hit a bump, I'm gonna lose grip. Slowly and slowly, more and more. And I know that it'll just be easier if I get it over with now. But maybe if I keep holding on, it'll all be okay. There won't be any more bumps, no more big hits.
The more you hold on, the stronger your grip strength gets, I'm
holding on with the tips of my fingers now. and it's just I see another bump's coming, and I know that this will be the one.
And then, it isn't. It's not the one.
But it wasn't, JD. You want to know why it wasn't?
Why is that?
I gave Franklin $40 today because he has a date, and he has no money for that date. So I gave him $40. And he's going to be giving me
nice brother that you are.
What a nice brother I am.
Yeah.
I gave him $40, and there was an agreement, JD.
An agreement?
Up until my other brother's birthday on June 1st.
Uh-huh.
For the rest of the time leading up to then, he cannot be an asshole to me.
That's pretty vague.
He cannot play any japes or pranks. He cannot pretend to stab me with the knife he has in his pocket, or get a can of carbonated air and a torched lighter and try to burn me. He cannot do any of that. No, he cannot cause me any harm.
Those are pretty vague terms.
He cannot neg me anymore, JD. And every time that he does one of these, would you like to know the consequence?
Well, I mean, I probably could guess it, but
I
let me know.
$40, JD. The same $40 I gave him, and more. I receive what I've paid tenfold. And you want to know why I know this plan will work?
Yeah.
90 seconds after I gave him that money, he grabbed the makeshift bow and arrow he made in the shop the other day, rolled up a giant piece of tape, aimed it at my back, and then said the words, "Jesus Christ, I almost did it. You just gave me the money and we agreed and I almost just did it." I would have made my money back then and there.
But you didn't.
But I didn't, but I know it will work because he'll slip up and he forgets because he nearly forgot that I was supposed to give him the money after I had gotten it. I had to remind him.
If he forgot about the deal, then what?
Then I gave him the money and reminded him of the deal. I reminded him of the deal because it's a good deal, JD. I live in hell every single waking second of the weekday. And now, hell will be a little bit easier to walk through.
I mean, you know.
I have become the devil himself.
There's just a thing with you and plans and them not going well. So I could see it going either way, really. But just know that I'm on your side. So, so whenever he forgets about the deal, if he forgets about the deal,
there is no God. There is only
recorded
me.
Evidence of it. Then here on the Crap Chute,
there is
which
only
happens
me.
Every Sunday. If you guys enjoyed, you should like and subscribe.
I am God and the devil himself.
We do it every Sunday, and you can catch us right here.
I see.
My finals are finally over, so I'm rolling into summer break. So I probably have a bit more time to stream, maybe make a bit more content. I was thinking of doing like manga reviews or something on my channel because those were actually pretty popular when I used to do them. But
what needs to be seen?
It just goes.
I found an emulator game that I thought would be very fun if we played it.
Sure. What is it?
Dragon Ball Evolution, the movie, the game. Only available on the PlayStation P.
Bring us out, James.
PSP Vita.
Bring us out, James.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the podcast. It happens every Sunday. You can find JD at Gizmo Works on Twitch and on YouTube, and I'm sure on some other platform somewhere.
Perhaps.
You can find me at James No Last Name on YouTube, as well as James No Last Name, or I think just No Last Name. Go watch
James's last upload 4 months ago. It's a real banger.
Got a new one coming out this week.
Is that a promise?
That's a guarantee. Because Bobby, you're